in the spirit of things, folks. Time for another fun-filled show. It's like Star Trek. We're going to take you to where you've never been or never gone before, like they say. We don't mind flying by the seat of our pants, and we're going to move down different paths. Anyways, I guess I'm probably getting John and Michelle in the queue laughing. Peter's talking about flying by the seat of his pants now. What the hell's going on? The McGilla Gorilla has showed up. He gave me some grape, folks. It's just an inside joke. It's all good. We'll clue you in down the road. Anyways, hey, folks, we got really exciting things. A lot of stuff happening. We are in the shift, SHIFT, not the other shift. Anyways, we're knee-deep. Matter of fact, we're knee-deep in the shift. Hey, it's comedy hour. Hey, what the hell? Anyways, a lot of interesting things happening, things moving forward on multiple levels, and just want to give a heads up, folks, I will be moving shortly in the future. Starting in April, all my shows will be over at Blog Talk I Am Free Will. So if you didn't get the memo, go sign up to privatist.me and you'll always get the memos to where the show is. It will still be in the spirit of things. We're just going to be doing a little bit more heavy lifting. Matter of fact, we'll be creating a Monday night show over there for people to cover in extensive capacity the medical side of the house on different levels, as well as how to get your body, your mind right. We talk about the body, but I'm going to dedicate a show just to the body because it's an important vessel to keep you upright and rolling. So I got a brother, Jerry Nowicki. He's going to be coming and joining me. So it just won't be Peter bantering by himself. Anyways, it's going to be extremely informative, extremely educational, extremely easy to change the paradigm for your body. Folks, you got one machine, and you got to take care of it. We're going to show you how, and we're going to give you direction of flow, as usual. Anyways, we got Zach at Verdict Productions, folks, if you haven't seen my 12-minute three-step debt termination video, you probably want to go take a look at it because if you're paying on third-party bottom feeders, that's what they are. You owe them nothing. However, just a simple task of removing the presumption gets you out from underneath because the original creditor always got paid. So anyways, and we got, also I want to give a little quick shout-out to Brother Greg from In5D, who always shares the love with us on a weekly basis. He always likes to post us because we don't mind sharing the love. Anyways, we're going to get some direction of flow. I'm going to talk a little bit about banking and stuff tonight, folks. Since that's a high priority, it's sitting in probably most people's minds' forefront. If you haven't been paying attention to what's going on in your world, we're going to give you some clues. Anyways, Brother John, are you here?
I am here, Peter.
And
good to be here too as well.
Sister Michelle, are you? I know I heard you chuckling somewhere. Oh, that's right. You don't chuckle. I'm sorry.
No, I don't giggle. I do chuckle. So that was me chuckling.
Yeah.
I'm present, sir.
Present and accounted for, sir. Very good.
Yes, sir.
We've got our Admiralty military acumen working, so we want everybody to be seagoing swabbies, get their bearings straight so they don't fall over the side, over the fantail. Anyways, just keep your hands in close. We'll keep you from falling over the side. Anyways, I wanted to cover some new things, but I always like to start off with Brother Johnny because, folks, we like to keep the light shined on places where they don't want us shining it, so that's exactly where I want to put it. So I'm going to have little Brother Johnny share a little love and share a little updates because, hey, they need to know that we know. And, Brother Johnny, I'll let you take the floor.
They need to know we're not asleep at the wheel here anyway, right?
Yeah.
The great thing about hanging with the leaders of freedom is, you get a lot of knowledge. So as you know, we're getting paperwork together now to file in common law now because, we're quickly learning that, being the defense in the case is nowhere to be at all because, 80% of defendants lose. And we've, been trying to file into their case, and we're learning now, we need to file our own case. So that's what we're doing right now. We are filing habeas corpus for the children to, make them bring forth their claim, bring forth their proof that they, have a right to do what they've done. And then we're proceeding forward with a claim through common law. So that's where we're at right now. We're studying quite a bit. We're learning from the masters, and we're definitely willing to implement that and stand in our honor. So that's where we're at right now, Peter. We've been it's study morning, noon, night. We're in bed 1, 2 in the morning. We're up 6:30, 7, and we're learning. We're hard dedicated at it, and we're gonna prevail. They're definitely not gonna see this coming, and they're definitely not going to enjoy this because, as we know, governments can only put in complaints. And as soon as you put a claim in, everything has to go with your trial first.
Right.
Because you've made a claim as a living man. And, you're not a fictional entity with a complaint,
Right.
So as Carl Lentz would describe it, someone putting in a claim would be the holder of a winning lottery ticket. Someone with a complaint would go around and say, well, listen, all my friends are all winning this lottery, but I don't seem to be winning this lottery, so I'm going to make a complaint that I'm not winning, which makes sense.
Right.
Well, understand? So, we're definitely...
That's a very good separation of complaint versus claim, folks. That's what we're talking about here, because they know us by our acts and deeds. They know us by our words, and we use all the wrong words because it's legalism. It's sleight of hand. It's the nefarious, underhanded, shake-shifter, bar card-carrying clowns at the circus trying to draft everybody for performance for a hypothecation event. It's always about the money. It's never civil. It's never criminal. It's about the money. Folks, I sort of cover that over on my site a little bit, 2-hour overview on the bond issue, which I'm sure some people have dug into. But, folks, we're going in a different direction like we always do. We want to go to peace. We want to settle this in an amicable way. We're not about creating war. We're not about causing duress. We're just about showing the love. And we're taking it to new heights. And matter of fact, Brother Michael, I'm going to give a shout-out to him because he's my webmaster over at privatist.me, and he is the master of his domain because he's really done some extremely heavy lifting. Folks, if you haven't seen the new site, the facelift, the direction of flow, the curriculum, it's posted. Go get your game on because this is what we do. We knew we had to do some more heavy lifting to give you some direction of flow, and we've really, really shortened your learning curve. It's an exponential learning curve because now you don't have to go think too hard. Just follow the bouncing ball because this is where I live. It's like training Marines. If I could train them, I figured I could train just about anybody. So, anyways, folks, I can train you too. Anyways, if you have the will, where is your will, speaking of wills, now they got me on another banter, folks, we're taking this down to another road starting next Thursday for those that come over to the site. We're going to talk about how to terminate presumptions. Very, very simple. Very simple administrative issues, process, no warring. Rescinding signatures is a really good idea because until you do such, i.e. remove the presumption, if you're a part of the body politic, if you got a marriage certificate, folks, you made the state a third party to your fruit of your loins, i.e. your children. This is why they can drag you into their system of downs so they can create a hypothecation event because you gave over. You allowed that third-party whore in the middle of your union. And it didn't start until 1926, all that garbage. Then they shifted very quickly into 1933 and basically created a hypothecation event on everybody via the birth certificate bond, and that is a starting point. If you haven't seen what one really looks like, folks, go over to my site. I have a copy of mine. I'll share it with God and the world. It's all good. I have nothing to hide. They would rather you not go see it. It's a beautiful blue-bordered birth certificate bond. It says Midwest Bank Note Company. Go figure. Gee, who would have known that I became a hypothecation event? Well, I know. Anyways, these are the things you get to learn over at my site. We start from the beginning. We're going to give you direction of flow. So But Michael and I are to go to a deeper level. We're slaying this beast on different levels at the speed of sound, and I know they're really excited. But that's why it's all private, folks, at privateist.me, because I can't do this in the public, what I do. I can banter, but I can't get to the specifics. So if you want specifics, come over to my house and go sit at my table. It's free. But you have to come in the front door. You have to actually take an action. So the whole point of that exercise is because you have to take an action. If you don't take an action, you stand fast in duress. You'll stand fast and get whacked because you didn't know that you were supposed to remove presumptions and stuff. Because until you do such, this is why they get away with what they get away with, because they think you're a dead entity. They've got you classified as an infant, an imbecile, whatever other words. And that's why hiring an attorney is not a good idea, folks, because when you do, you become incompetent to handle your own matters forthwith, and then they get to beat your brakes off, and you just created a new hypothecation event by giving over power of attorney. Gee, go figure. All these traversals, all these consents. We're going to talk about consent probably more into the show because it's just a really, really deep topic. But what Brother and I have, Michael, have planned for next Thursday is, for our fully paid members, you get the documents for free. They're red boxed. You can remove presumptions to birth certificate, your marriage certificate. We're going to talk about going and reversing your position on wills. If you have a statutory will, folks, you need to dump it. But you can make another will as a man and come forward live in a different capacity. I'm not going to digress on it here. I'm just going to give you the heads up that this is what we're going to be covering next Thursday. But, folks, like I say, we've all fallen asleep. We didn't know all this trickery and chicanery was going on behind our backs. Sort of like the banking system, folks, the whole hypothecation event, the whole system of downs. And if any of you have been following what's going on this past couple of weeks, Cyprus, they shared the love with them because their whores at the top of the pecking order gave them over to the International Monetary Fund for a hypothecation event to the tune of 6.75% of all their private funds. So isn't that special? That they can go over and willy-nilly suck 6.75% out of a person's private account, but it's not, folks. See, because when you signed the contract, the one you didn't read, you gave over. You abandoned the property. Nobody talks about this. Nobody shares this, but I will. And that's why I haven't had a bank account since 1995. I've divested myself of chicanery land because I'll be damned if I'm going to give over anything to clowns at the circus so they can control my flow. So if you want to get a learn on and find out how to remove presumptions, terminate third-party bottom feeders, we're going to go into the mortgage end of things in the near future. We're going into estates and trust because that's all it is, folks, just estates and trust. I mean, who would have thought that the beginning of your mother claiming to be, she was the informant, gave you over to the state in a state-run hospital, and therein lies where the problem starts. And then they give you a last name, and then the hypothecation games begin. And then because Daddy didn't know that you were given over, because he's separated by that piece of paper, a double line on that document, which is on mine, showing proof that he didn't even know that you were given over by the informant, i.e. mother, who's used a maiden name. Anyways, these are just little interesting concepts that I've managed to figure out as I went along, and it's very interesting. Anyways, what do you think, Michelle? You think we're taking them down the right path, or what?
I think so. I don't think so. I know so.
There you go.
We're coming back to language again, and my dislike for words like belief and faith. And just before the show started, I read you a quote here from one of my favorite people, Carl Jung. The word belief is a difficult thing for me. I don't believe. I must have a reason for a certain hypothesis. Either I know a thing, and then I know it. I don't need to believe it. I love that.
Yep.
You know, I don't. Who needs beliefs? I have knowing.
That's it. Yeah, that's sort of where I try and live, is in the know. If I can't prove it in black and white, giving substance, then I keep my mouth shut. Anyways,
and, can I shift things up a little bit?
Go ahead.
I was I think this is one of my favorite books of all time. It's by Jed McKenna, and it's called Spiritual Warfare. This guy is a genius with words. I wanted to read this passage. He's discussing the book 1984 by George Orwell, and I'd just like to read this passage here. There's an interesting parallel in 1984, the book. The country of Oceania has the power to create a high standard of living for everyone, but the ruling party wishes to keep everyone impoverished and thereby enslaved. And right now he's quoting from the book, the problem was how to keep the wheels of industry turning without increasing the real wealth of the world. Goods must be produced, but they must not be distributed. And in practice, the only way of achieving this was by continuous warfare. And now we're getting back to Jed McKenna in his book, Continuous Warfare. People toiling in factories, producing ships and tanks that are destroyed in a perpetual war that is never won or lost. People stay busy and production stays high, while their standard of living stays low, and their hope of overthrowing their oppressors stays non-existent. Demons are similar in that they don't exist to win or lose, but only to keep us busy. I'd like to come back to that in a minute, but there's another passage here where in Zen, in the practice of Zen Buddhism, they have things called koans, and there are these, call them quotes, and there's a lot of meaning in them. So somebody wrote of the sayings in George Orwell's 1984. His name is Thomas Pynchon. He calls them the koans of an aberrant form of Zen, where we have things like war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. Oceania is governed by 4 ministries, the names of which exhibit a sort of impudence in their deliberate reversal of the facts. The ministry of love is where all the torture and brainwashing are done. The ministry of peace wages a never-ending war. The ministry of plenty is in charge of restricting the supply of food and goods. And the ministry of truth is in charge of lies and propaganda.
Yep. Everything's opposite,
this is,
inverse.
Exactly. And this was Jed McKenna's particular take on what he calls the spiritual marketplace, which is something I was ranting on about a couple of weeks ago. He says, in keeping with that impudent naming practice, we can look to our own ministry of awakening, the spiritual marketplace, where we find all the sages and teachers and philosophers and scholars hard at work doing exactly what our own big brother wants them to be doing, making sure everyone stays sound asleep. So, I love that. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. We've got the ministry.
Ignorance is bliss, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
that's what I've heard
I
before.
guess.
Ignorance is bliss. Hello.
There's that too, but
yeah.
And what is it? The ignorance is bliss, and the biggest idiot is the happiest of all, kind of thing. Not sure. Not sure, but I'm not making a statement on my own level of ignorance.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Happy, dumb, and plum. I guess. Whatever. I'm not there. Anyways.
And it really doesn't matter, because the whole thing is a distraction. Everything in the systems is to keep us distracted. I love this here. He's sort of explaining to people about to keep us captive. For example, he says, if I were a gambling addict, then a large portion of my life energy, my time, my thoughts, and emotions would be spent either gambling or fighting my urge to gamble. But for our purposes, feeding my addiction and fighting it are really the same thing. Whether my gambling demon is beating me or I'm beating it doesn't matter. All that matters is that I'm sitting in my prison cell, fully engaged in processes that will never move me 1 inch closer to liberation. That's what demons do. They always fight a delaying action that expends our resources and prevents us from making forward progress. That's their objective, to occupy us, not to defeat us.
Right,
and
keep you busy.
Remember, we were discussing last show, I feel like I'm in this, I've awoken in this dream where I'm in a sewer, and it's, the people in charge who are running the sewer, all these rats, and hey, I see sunlight up ahead, and, I'm making a break for it, and I've got a couple of rats that are clinging onto my leg. I'm not going to come down into the sewer and start fighting the rats with their processes. I'm making a break for it,
Yeah, yep.
Which is what I think, which is what I know you and Michael are doing with your processes. I'm not going to waste my time and energy fighting things. I don't fight.
No.
I'm just not geared to fight. I don't know their system. I don't like their system. I don't know it. I'm not an expert. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not in the bar, on the bar, above the bar, below the bar, whatever with the bar.
Yeah.
Just for me, it's somehow it exists. So I understand in this physical realm, I have to address it in some way. Even though in my spiritual realm, I rid myself of all these contracts into which I had unknowingly become involved a year and a half ago, or almost 2 years ago now. Like, I cleared myself of those in the etheric. But it remains that I am here in the physical, and I do have to address these processes. Yes, I have to get off the voter registration roll. Yes, I have to claim my own soul. Yes, I have to, somehow get my own papers and claim myself as my own country. And yes, I have a lot of homework to do.
Yeah, I keep loading you up, don't I?
You do.
That's my job, folks, to get everybody else busy, but get unencumbered. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Because, folks, we've encumbered ourselves by traversing into all these contracts because this is what we were told to do. It's like programmed, conditioned response. Okay, this is what we're supposed to do. Just like when I asked about property tax to my parents when I was a kid. I said, they told us in school we're free. And I said, I have an issue. I was like 10 years old, and I said, I was in the rape and pillage state called Connecticut. It's called the Constitution state. It's the rape and pillage state, folks. Just like all the northeastern states. They really, they're... Anyways, hey, we're going to cover some tax issues and some other stuff later in the program because I like to uncover stuff, and I can share. But I think we're fixing to go to a break here in a minute. But I'm going to step into the bank in some banking information on the other side of this downside of this call. For those that aren't quite paying attention, who didn't quite get a memo, I'm going to share a little love on that level. So, matter of fact, if my producer doesn't mind, we'll go to break a little early and we'll step into the next side of this show in the spirit of things. Anyways, let me make sure. Sorry. And by the way, if you didn't get the memo, Brother Peter is moving to Blog Talk I Am Free Will. You can post it, find it. We've already got it set up. After the 1st of, starting into the 1st of April, we're moving. We want to share the love on a bigger level throughout the world. So we want to expand. We're going to go, like I say, into other areas, other issues of the day to give everybody a lot more clarity, a lot more, much quicker. Because, hey, the time is nigh, folks. No time like the present, they say. I'm living here in the now. Same with y'all. But anyways, folks, I just wanted to, since we're in here in the now, just want to cover a little bit about the banking system. If you haven't seen this article, you could probably pull it up. It's in the European Union Times. And this is not fear porn for all those who think it's fear porn. Get your minds right. This is your wake-up call, for lack of a better term. And if you want to stay asleep, you can. And hey, what's going on with Cyprus last week? It's just the beginning because the IMF, basically the whores that be, are looking for some more hypothecation events. This is why you have the Corrections Corporation of America guaranteeing 90% fill rate in U.S. jails. So because they don't have anything, folks. They have no substance. They create it off your back. They create it off you. You are the event. You are the issue. ISSUE. Look at the word issue. That's what the birth certificate bond is when you were born. They made a new issue. And every time you breed another one and put it over into the public system, you give them another issue. But that's all right. We know how to fix that. So that's where we live. But what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit. This is from a Russian leader. Yeah, folks, if you get your swill from the lamestream media, which I call it, they're not telling you the other side of the story. They never do because they want you to go to sleep, shut up, put up, and just be a zombie. You get stupefied. Anyways, I'm going to cover this just a little bit. I'm going to read a little bit of it. So for those who think I'm making it up, a Ministry of Foreign Affairs urgent bulletin being sent to embassies around the world today is advising both Russian citizens, citizens, whatever, and companies to begin divesting their assets from Western banking and financial institutions. Folks, immediately, and if you don't know what a Western institution is, it's a USA Inc. crap, okay? It's all USA Inc. Incorporated since 1871. Anyways, as Kremlin fears grow, that both the European Union and the United States are preparing for the largest theft of private wealth in modern history, sort of like what they did to our brothers and sisters over in Cyprus last weekend. Anyways, according to this urgent bulletin, this warning is being made at the behest of Prime Minister Medvedev, who earlier today warned against the Western banking system's actions against EU member Cyprus by stating, all possible mistakes that could have been made have been made. The measure that was proposed is a confiscational nature, and unprecedented in its character, and I can't compare it with anything but decisions made by Soviet authorities when they didn't think much about the savings of their population. But we are living in the 21st century under market economic conditions. Everybody's been insisting that ownership rights should be respected. Well, folks, you don't own crap. You gave it over. You gave it over when your mama gave it over you at birth, and then they created the hypothecation event. Folks, I got an excellent video that will give you a lot more clarity. It's over at my house. You need to go watch it. If you haven't watched Changes on the Horizon Part 2, it's it's about an hour and 5 minutes, and it's going to give you a history lesson from hell that you never got in public fool system, and you'll never get from the public fool system. If you haven't watched All Wars Are Bankers' Wars, that'll get your mind right too. So, folks, yeah, I give you direction of flow so you can go pull these stupid rose-colored glasses off they got us wearing, or they had us wearing. So it starts with you. Folks, this is valid. This is true. This is real. So they expected you to stay asleep so they can hypothecate you some more. Well, I'm going to give everybody some direction of flow. That's why I set up Privatist.me. We talk about not warring, and we're meaning. So folks, I sound like I'm frustrated, angry, whatever. I'm not. I'm passionate. I'm directed in flow. I get the memo. I've had the memo for 25 years, and now I really got the memo, so I'm going to share the memo with you. When I talk about memos, just like when I was in the military, if the colonel passed a memo and his subordinates didn't read it, there was hell to pay. And, folks, you're going to have hell to pay if you don't get the memo. Anyways, I love you enough to share it with you. So for those who don't think it can happen, let's just say right here and now, you go back into your cognitive dissonance and go to sleep, and you'll have a rude awakening when it does come to the other side. Anyways, I just wanted to cover a little bit on the banking system, but I have another article, Michelle, that I wanted to cover that I posted, I think, in your box and others, and it's state sales tax, folks. Welcome to the nether scam. Matter of fact, see, I was covering this like 7 years ago. I didn't have a soapbox then, but I got one now. Hey, so folks, we're going to show you how to go direction of flow to not be liable for that either. See, folks, any corporation, they think you're one, first of all. Second of all these corporations that are set up, Brother Michael just shared with me today that, what the hell is it, these damn internet dealies. Anyways, the state of Virginia wants to tax internet transactions and all this other crap and charge a sales tax. Well, the one who's supposed to be picking up the tab for the sales tax, folks, is the corporation that's set up in to do business in that state, not the individual, you. But because you didn't know who you are, you went to sleep, you go to Walmart and you pay your sales tax. Well, folks, they actually have an administrative form that allows you not to have to pay a sales tax if you know what your status is. So guess what? Well, I'm going to be teaching over at my site how to divest yourself of a presumption so that you don't have liability on a sales tax. You know, I love to share this stuff because, you know, they don't ever think we're going to wake up. Hey, well, folks, the wake-up call is here. I'm ringing the bell. Pavlov's dog, conditioned response, come on over and get a meal. Anyways, folks, this is what I'm going to cover. But this is an excellent article. Matter of fact, I'm going to make sure Brother Michael posts it over at the site on state sales tax, on the sham, the scam, the other hypothecations. And, Michelle, I know you pay a nice little sales tax up in your area. Yeah, we're going to need to fix your problem, too, because you're not liable neither.
Yeah, little doesn't describe it, though, my friend.
Yeah, what is it, 9.5% or some crap?
Oh, no, it's 5%, and then on top of that, there's a 9.975%. So, yeah.
Yeah, for all the geniuses out there saying, well, who's going to pay for the, it's like the income tax crap. I deal with geniuses all across the board. Well, how are we going to get the roads paved? Well, they take that out of the gas tax when you go to the pump every time, folks. That's what's supposed to be doing it. What's happened, though, is they've ComShawed the funds and put them in the rainy day fund called the CAFR accounts. I cover that too, folks. I got a YouTube 15 Minutes by Jerry Day. He explains it really well. Walter Burian, gee, go figure, another Navy dude just like me, and he's covered extensively the second set of books that nobody's talking about. Folks, this is the stuff that you're not supposed to know. This is your wake-up call. Anyways, there's good things coming. This is where Michael and I are moving forward on multiple levels, and we're going to address multiple issues across the board so that we can remove presumptions, because this is where we live. And once you remove presumptions, you don't have a liability. But, folks, they consider that you don't. By you stepping into the game and saying you own stuff, that creates your liability. So you don't have, they're holding equitable title, and they're basically raping the estate and divesting you of everything. But because you didn't know who you were, they heap up on all these other issues and taxes and informations, and, that's all right. I'm going to cover them over at my house. So because I'm fixing to go into deep dig mode because I'm really happy with the nefarious ones doing their scum-sucking, bottom-feeding garbage. So, hey, I'm going to show the love on a whole different level. We're not going to war, folks. We're going to go to peace, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Anyways, what do you think of all this beautiful stuff going on with Cyprus and all these banks and stuff with the IMF there, Michelle?
It's we live in interesting times, I got to say.
Yep.
And I can sort of get a sense on the energies that are at play here. And my hope is that people will know what's going on and not react. But you know what? I don't think, like we were discussing earlier, everything is happening at such a breakneck speed lately. Everything is unfolding. Everything is revealing itself. The patterns are emerging, and we're getting a sense of right action and direction. My hope is that people won't react, but rather that they will choose to act. And I don't have the answers, and I don't think any of us have the answers. It's a process that we're going through so that we can learn. I think in going through it, we're finding out what it is that we know already, and we're learning what it is that we have to know. We're finding fractals of ourselves that are missing. The right person is stepping in at the right time, at the right moment. The right information is coming across our desk at the right moment. Synchronicities are revealing themselves.
Yep.
I was thinking about action and reaction, and it seems that when you act, that's when you're in dominion. That's when you have the choice. You're in that space, and you know that you have a choice. You're in control of your energies. You're in dominion. I like sovereignty for that word, not for the connotations it has currently. That's action. When you're in reaction, it seems there are two ways that you can go. First of all, reaction it's an imbalance, and you're following energies that have been imposed on you. It's programming. Basically, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a reflex. You don't think. You're not in dominion of your energies. You're not in that space of knowing. Rather, you're in that space of doing, and it's programmed. So in reaction, we have the classic fight or flight. When you're in fight, you've got you blame, and maybe you want to solve the problems and try to fix things. We discussed that cycle of rescuer and savior, perpetuating that cycle. So there's a whole bunch in fight. Flight has different energies. You take off, basically, in whatever form that means. Literally, you don't face that problem that's presenting itself to you. You don't face that energy form. That if you do go through it, you will experience expansion and more knowing. I have a friend who's very dear to me. I love him very much. I've known him for, 22 years or so, and it just feels like the friendship is coming towards an end because we're not able to speak about things anymore, just because he's in his own paradigm, in a fight paradigm, mortgage, marital situation, things like that.
Yeah.
And so he's in this perpetual sort of clenched fist, contracted mode, and I'm just not finding much commonality. As much as I love him, I'm finding that it's more and more difficult for me energetically to have a foot in his world and have a foot where I am. So I'm finding that as we go through this process, there are things that fall away. Things that no longer serve somehow fall away. Things that don't resonate with us somehow fall away. And it reminds me of a quote that I had in the room that I used to do energy healings in. Trying to remember, I think it was Viktor Frankl, who was a survivor of the Nazi concentration camps, and he wrote this beautiful book called Man's Search for Meaning. And I think it's from that book, and let me remember before I mangle it, about burning. Yes, that, if I remember it right, that which is to give light must endure burning. That which is that which is to give light must endure burning. And, it was a very important quote for me for a very long time. In other words, if I am to burn purely, somehow there is some suffering there. And I think I realized about 2 years ago or so that suffering was an excellent teacher to me. I couldn't have asked for a better one, actually, because that was my teacher. But at a certain point, we realized that we can have other teachers. There are other ways. We don't have to go via the route of suffering. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it all comes down to choice. And to answer your question about what's going on in Cyprus and the whole banking situation, I'm just as interested, if not entranced, by the situation as everyone else is. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to come of it. And I hope that we can show our best side rather than that side which has been programmed into us.
Yep. Brother John, you got any input on what you think on Cyprus?
Well, yeah, speaking of being a program and stuff like that, we have been programmed. Like we started off this conversation with about 1984 and stuff like that. All these movies I grew up with as a child was, these sci-fi movies where everyone was poor. There's all this great technology all around, but the people were poor and fighting against the government, and the banks were collapsing, and the corporations are taking over the world. And they've been telling us this for the last 20, 30 years. You know what I mean? Pre-programming us for this. You know.
John, I just got an article. I'll send it to you in an email. I think I sent it to Michelle. 1934. They actually posted. It's an excellent read. It's only basically they've been doing this since 1934. They said basically bankrupt the system, blame it on the capitalists, and then we can bring in our dictatorship. And this is a cartoon from 1934. I have it I got it in my email from a brother in the form of a cartoon, posted in the Washington Times or something, or that was one of these goofy papers. Anyways, yeah, folks, they've been telling us for a boatload of time. We just haven't been paying attention, literally.
Exactly. But the great thing about evil is, you know what I mean, I said this before, it plants its own seed of destruction. People are finding out, you know what I mean, at a very quick pace, the con, and they're not falling for the con that the mainstream is trying to sell them. They've went too far with too much, and people are seeing what they do not prefer. And that's the great thing about evil. It shows you what you do not prefer. And the more they do this, the more, people are going to drop this fiat money system, the more they're going to start communities with their own money systems, and the more they're going to turn against this type of tyranny in our world, stuff like this. So, it's all playing out like it should.
Yeah.
This is a corrupt system. It was meant to fail from the beginning. An evil system will always fail. It will always destroy itself. And at least people are waking up while this is happening. So we're
that's a good
that
point,
way.
John. That's a good point that you mentioned about evil. That the seed for its own destruction is within it, but also evil is. It's fairly predictable if we step back and look at the energies that guide evil. They follow the basic mechanics of the energies in place. It's kind of like the entire inversion idea. Just look at everything as it is and understand that this is the way it was meant to be, and then you get an idea about the inversions. What is good and pure and whole and beautiful becomes inverted so that it's bad and fragmented. What's the inversion of pure, I guess, debased, just everything. So when we look around us, we see things as they are. And I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's the inversion of how I want things to be.
It just seems to be a cycle. Everything is a cycle. We have the cycles of time, cycles of season, and we have spiritual cycles in this physical world as well. They talk about the 25,000 year cycle of how how we, go into our lowest base animal instincts, and how we get into different energies on our planet, and we go to points where we get to the highest points of our intellect and stuff like that, just because of the energies being put off in the universe. So we are in cycles. So we can call them, negative and positive, or evil and good.
Yeah, like a pendulum.
It is a cycle.
Swings back and forth.
Both sides, yeah.
Yeah, there are basic laws at play here, and this information used to be common and well known by everybody until it was, I guess,
hijacked.
Hijacked.
Hidden.
Sure, let's use that
Made
word.
Made of pulp. Yeah.
Co-opted and inverted, subverted, taken underground, and then brought back in its inverted form for us to worship and abide by it.
Outside of ourselves, exactly.
Exactly, outside of ourselves. But that's the thing. It's these things that are outside of ourselves. Well, are they not expressions of who we are? Are they not expressions? Are they not manifestations of who I am and what I happen to be going through in my life? I have great difficulty in wrapping my brain around that. I know on a certain level that it's a mental universe, and what I think comes into the physical. What I think, everything that is around us was an idea at one time. Every building was an idea until it actually became built. The banking system was an idea before it came into creation. So, we are masters at creativity, and my question is, or my comment rather, isn't it interesting that creativity, our very creativity, is one of those aspects of our humanity that is being absolutely destroyed, crushed out of us in this process of homogenization, in this process of conformity, and everyone must wear black. You must wear this uniform. Banana eating days are only Tuesdays and Thursdays. If I can't create, I'm not really human, am I? If I can't think original thoughts, am I human?
Well, that's the thing.
So,
I sent Peter a website there not too long ago, and it was basically talking about scientists mysteriously, going missing or having these cruel and extreme deaths being done to them, and we're talking hundreds and hundreds of scientists within the last few years. You know what I mean? And great minds that are bringing forward things to propel humanity. And that's the thing. Within a generation, this whole planet could be a complete utopia. No problem at all. If it wasn't all suppressed, all our good intentions suppressed, and these evildoers that are doing this kind of stuff, being found out, so that we can overcome this stuff, so that we can bring about a utopia, a society again, because it's more than able to be there. It just seems that there's a few that have so much money and so much power, because of this illusion that we've given them all this power with their fiat currency and stuff like that. Dean Clifford said it's great the other day. He was talking about how the elites are collecting all the money and all the wealth and all the gold and stuff like that, and
I'm on my blog talk show from 5 to 7. But come on in. I'm going to go to a break in about 2 minutes, and then I have 5-minute break. And then
it's all right. I'm listening, John.
So, but
minor distraction.
He was saying how if everyone just said, fine, we're not going to accept your money. We're all the farmers. We're the ones who make all the resources and stuff like that. But we don't want to accept your gold, and we don't take it as value anymore. But, well, good luck. You have all your precious gold all you want, but you're not going to be able to do anything with it. So, it's all part of that illusion. We give it value.
Yes.
We give these things value, and we could so easily take the power and turn it around by just saying, no, enough. We don't want that,
John, I give you complete permission to call me certifiable, because I think this is it's not possible in a generation. It's possible now. It's just it's a question of choice.
It would be a wonderful
people
thing.
Have to come. Yes, but people have to come to that choice, and the route, the portal to come to that choice for most people is suffering. So, at a certain point, we will have experienced enough suffering so that people will come to that choice. Are we going to go for a break, Peter?
Like I said, we are fixing to leave the bow. We're moving forward to Blog Talk I Am Free Will, starting next week, the 1st. And we're just going to a higher level. Anyways, let's get back to...
and that's... sorry, Peter, that's Monday at 7 to 9, yeah?
Yeah, 7 to 9. I have one that's coming up Monday as well. So while we're in transition, we are doing one on Monday nights. It's called Blog Talk I Am Free Will. Join us on 7 to 9 drive time on that one, folks. Anyways, folks, we're really moving forward on multiple levels. Like I say, the educational platform has already been staged. We're going to teach you things you never thought possible very effectively, very easily. And that's the whole point of us setting up privatist.me. So if you haven't been over there yet, folks, the curriculum is set up. It's simple to follow. It will give you an educational platform to start with to give you a lot more clarity in very, very short order so you don't have to go digging for 25 years like I did. That's the point of the exercise. So, it's a reduced exponential learning curve. Johnny, you've been over to the site, have you not?
I pretty much live there now.
Yeah. That's your new home? That's your home away from home?
That's my new home. I'm there all the time. Always learning. But yeah, exactly. It is from right from grade school right until your university degree there. This is the first time, like you say, we had to piece this all together, go through all the disinformation as well, and as well as the good information, and figure out and sort through it. And what I'm finding is it is about learning, relearning, and unlearning. And that's what we have to do because we've been taught so many errors that we need to relearn everything that we knew. And I am finding the deeper I get into it, the simpler it is. And that's I thank you for that, for showing us how simple it really can be. They try to, like I say, get us with this legalese and all this kind of stuff. Well, if you're a man, you're not required to know legalese. You're a common man. You're to know law. Lawful law, not legalese. So, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning, you shouldn't talk too much in court. You shouldn't put too much in your paperwork and all this kind of stuff because, we want to keep it simple, stupid. We want to keep it so that they have nothing that they can argue against you with and nothing that they can say, well, interpret this word. We want to keep it simple, plain, and stupid, basically. And if they ask you if you're an idiot and you don't know what legalese is, you say, yes, I'm an idiot, sir. I don't know what legalese is, and, stay in your jurisdiction. So I do thank you for this site because,
John, I just wanted to jump in. There was a quote that I read recently. There's a lot of power in words, so long as you don't string too many of them together.
Exactly. Thank you, brother. It's all up for interpretation.
I'll have to find. Yeah, so I'll have to find who said that for you, but.
But yeah, what's great, we get to the site and stuff like that. It starts right from the basics. How we got here, what led us to here, and why do you want to be free? Why do you want to be private? Why, and how can we be private? How can we be free? How can we live to be free? This stuff years and years to answer each and every one of these questions before private is where you set it all up. The step-by-step, point form by point form. This is where you need to go. This is what you need to study. This isn't an easy road. There is a lot to learn. You do have to be educated. There's no more of the Simpson mentality to live free. You do have to know who you are. You do have to know certain things, and you have to believe it and you have to live it. So it isn't an easy 2-second thing. You're going to know everything. You definitely do have to study. But I'm telling you, once you do learn the stuff, it is quite rewarding, quite freeing to actually know what's truly going on in this world.
Yeah, and that's the whole point why we set up a actual. I was telling Michael about 2 weeks ago. I said, you know what? Just like we did on sui juris when we first started, we actually I did follow the bouncing ball, 5 steps, 5 simple things to do, just to give direction and flow, because I knew everybody they would come to the site and they didn't know what to do first. So, folks, that's what we created. We really, really did major heavy lifting. It's really, really not a hard stretch. It's direction of flow on a much, much easier, effective means. I talked to a brother today. His name is Alan, and he's from Canada. And I said, you're not going to get it in 5 minutes, but you're going to get it a lot faster than had you stood back and done nothing. I says, because he was looking for the nickel tour. I says, you're going to have to click and go. You're going to have to watch, a couple of the videos. You've got to understand how to. You have to pull this curtain back to understand how far this rabbit hole went. And folks, you get it in very, very short order. So this is through the creative capacities of Brother Michael and I. We said we can do this. We knew we could do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. So all you got to do is go there, and it's really that simple. Because this is going to peel back the curtain so far back, you'll never go back to sleep. And that was the capacity and the modality that we created so that everybody can move forward at a much, much quicker speed instead of having to... folks, I've been down all the different roads. I know about international bills of exchange, the Uniform Commercial Code, the Code of Federal Regulations, statutes at large, implemented regulations. All that time that you don't have time to dig into, that's fine. I've already done it for you. And I'm not going to busy your brain with all those different modalities. I'm going to take you straight to the straight shot overview so that you don't have to busy yourself with going to 5,000 different sites to get your mind right. This is one site. This is it's like a one-stop shop for the brain. And it's huge. It's easy. It's effective. The templates, the documentation, administrative processes we create, we've done the hard for. As a matter of fact, this international package that we just created for all our brothers in Australia, UK, Germany, Italy, we're going to create actual, what do they call it, Google Translate, so the documents can be done in that country's language. So, folks, we're doing the digging, the deep digging. We've done the hard part. It's just you stepping in for yourself and carrying a little bit of the water because we'll give you all the help and guidance we can give you. And, folks, I mean, I hear people sort of banter on a little bit about, well, gee, $120. Well, folks, the packages are free. The third-party debt termination package, I don't charge a penny. I'm never going to charge a penny. But you know what? The package is free, but your education is not. So if $2.50 a week, $2.50 a week, if you're not worth your $2.50 a cup of coffee, then you know what? You can stand fast, and you're going to learn in a whole different paradigm, and your learning curve is going to be a lot more than $120. So, folks, we're not in commercial capacity. We're not operating as a commercial entity.
You're not salespeople.
Right.
You're not. You and Michael aren't salespeople. You don't want to push anything on anybody that doesn't want it. It's not commerce. Remember, we had this discussion about commerce. How commerce is, I'll do this for you if you do this for me. There's this attachment to an outcome, and you guys are beyond that. What you're doing is because this is what you are here to be doing.
Right. And folks, $120 for the year. When you get to come to my house and sit at my seat, you're going to get an education seat because you got all these other modalities out there, CIC, Winston Shrout, and whatever. Folks, you go buy their Magic Wand documents, and then when you get in the deep end, you got nobody to talk to. You've got nobody to get direction from because, folks, all that's, they're talking about trust and estates at CIC. Michael and I, we watch what everybody does. We pay attention. But what we do is we create an educational portal, and we actually create template documents so that you don't have to create for yourself because we know you're in the deep end. We know that you don't understand. By putting your name on the left-hand side of the page creates your chasm, i.e. statutory land. We know that you don't understand about seals, stamps, codicils, all this stuff. So what we're going to be doing is a direction of flow on educational classes every Thursday. So then they're all taped MP3, so even if you miss a call, you never miss a call. We knew we could put a learning center together, a direction of flow for everybody, and make it a lot less complex. So this is what we've done. So, folks, It's not going to get any easier than this. There's nobody out there in the world that's doing what we're doing, and we're not blowing our horn. We're bringing you to our house. We're bringing you to a new paradigm shift. Your educational shift is upon you, but it's up to you to step into the bow. It's up to you to take an action, because freedom with responsibility starts with you. I can't do it for you, but I can sure as hell give you direction and flow, and I will not this is one thing that Michael and I are about. We don't have anybody doing anything we haven't done ourselves. If we can't prove that it has validity, we're not theory, we're fact, we're proofs, we're information. So if this might fit your paradigm, come on over, come onto the water, because, I got a pile of free portals, educational portals, that you can get your learn on, and then when you're ready to step to the next level for full membership, and that's why it's a membership, folks, and that's why it's private. I'm not in commerce. So if this I get tire kickers. They say, hey, I'd like to look at your package first. And I say, hey, the package is free. You can look at it all day long. If you have doubt and fear in your mind, you need to stand fast and do absolutely nothing, because the $120 you're going to save yourself is going to cost you thousands more than by standing fast, because your education starts when you do. Are you worth getting educated? Are you worth changing your mind?
Peter, my sense of what you and Michael are doing is you don't want to create followers, because that's pretty much what got us into this system, into this state that we're in right now. But rather, you want to let people become aware that there's a choice, that freedom comes with responsibility. It's not the old game of, okay, I'll give you this money and now you owe me. That's not at all what it is. No. You come through the door, there's information, you learn things, you become your own leader, basically. You get your information. Peter and Michael have done a lot of the, as you say, heavy lifting, because you lift weights, literally. and there's responsibility there. And that's, I don't know how else to explain it in energetic terms. It's not old style paradigm of, I do this for you, you do this for me. In other words, I wouldn't be doing this for you if you weren't doing this for me. That's not how it works.
Right.
I'm doing this for you because this is what I want to be doing. I don't care if you do this for me. I'm genuinely appreciative. If you do something for me, that's fantastic. But you know what? My giving is not dependent on your giving. My giving is because this is what I want to be doing right now. And because this is what my place is. And because, hell, I love my brothers and sisters, and this is what I have to be doing. We're living in insanely exciting times. And there's opportunity for everyone to be a part of it, to join in, to start giving, to start something, to get engaged in the creative mode, to start creating, to remember that you're a human being and you're capable of love and joy and freedom, which comes hand in hand with responsibility. And I'm ranting, Peter.
No, you're sharing. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Folks, it really is.
I just go on these rants sometimes because I feel that sometimes it's, you explain things a certain way. I explain them maybe slightly differently, but we're explaining, and you don't want people to blindly follow. That's the last thing you want. You want people to start thinking for themselves and to ask questions.
That's why it requires them to actually dig in and assess and see if this fits their paradigm. It's not my job to change your mind. It's your job to change your mind once you get right-minded. And folks, we talk about mind, body, and spirit. It's three pegs in the stool. And if you're missing one, you're devoid of being whole. So we are going, this is really, hey, we share the love over at our house. Folks, nobody else is going to share. And like I say, you don't have the capacity to ask me 5 million questions, but you can ask me a direct, concerted question at pretty much any given time, and I give over my time, and my time is worth something to me as well as it is to each individual. So, but I do expect people to actually read things before they come forward. It's like the third-party debt termination package, which is stronger than death. It really works. We already, matter of fact, we have successes already coming through the door. I'm going to be actually posting a video, a YouTube video of all the testimonials. Folks, that's why I'm giving away the package, because I want all these successes, because there's going to be many, 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 many of them, and I already know it. See, folks, I'm in the I know because I've already done it, been there, done that. So, but I don't want you to believe me. I want you to test that my theory is not theory at all. It's valid proof. And Brother Zach, matter of fact, he's almost out the other side. The bottom-feeding attorney he can't find him anywhere. It's like he's DOA, dead on arrival, and he moved forward. He had the faith of a mustard seed, and I know you hate the word faith, but he took an action. He did some heavy lifting. I gave him the package, and I said, just do it. He says, follow the bouncing ball. Yeah, folks, we have 7 pages of instruction. Yes, you must print it out. Yes, you must actually read it, because if you don't, you're operating from a position of no knowledge. Knowledge is power, but it's not a hard lift. I've done the heavy lifting for you. This is direction of flow like a laser beam. It's concerted, it's direct, and they're done. The game is over. So for all my brothers and sisters who are standing back in the abyss and thinking that there's not a remedy, and folks, I hate using that word remedy. I never hardly ever use it, but the remedy starts with you, folks. I just bring the information forward. If it resonates, use it. If it doesn't, stand fast, do nothing. You have the option to make the choice of doing nothing. But you know what? You're going to be 30 days older.
Sewer or sunshine?
What's that?
Peter, sewer or sunshine? You can choose the sewer. You can keep fighting the rats. They're chewing into you. Get back down into that sewer. Keep fighting them off. Fight.
Right.
Because when you fight, you continue. You energetically make larger that which is fighting you. So get back down into the sewer or sunshine. Sewer or sunshine. For me, it's a very clear choice. But that's me.
Yep.
Some people like sewers. Some people can be happy in the sewer because this is what they know. And when we know what we know, then there's nothing else. But you know what? I saw sunshine. I want sunshine. So it's a choice. It comes down to a choice.
Yeah, I think some can be happier than a pig in mud, and they stay in the mud. It's cool, whatever their choice is. So, folks, we're not going to make any choices for you. You're going to have to make them for yourself. That's why you have to actually, like I say, take an action to come through the front door, and they're free portals. Like I say, until you feel comfortable or get your bearing, you don't have to. You can hang out at my house. You're in the front door on the free portals, which are many and direct. And if you haven't seen the cancer page, the educational folks, the downloadable PDFs and information, it's all free because I love my brothers enough because I don't want them dying for a lie. So you know what? I said, I can do this for humanity. I can give it away for free, multiple things. And, folks, we're creating more packages, more information on, like I say, how to rescind signatures. We're going to do all the heavy lifting for you. All you got to do is take an action. When you get right-minded and you get to move forward, and you'll have direction of flow. You will have pretty much full understanding. We are not vague and indescript like the rest. We don't do the OPPT, 4 modalities in one document syndrome. Anyways, I won't even get on that doorstep.
But I will. No, just kidding. I think I alluded to that group during one of my previous rants, so I don't feel the need to address it anymore.
I
just keep finding the word distraction and diversion popping up when I discuss. Yeah.
The Dog and Pony Show, folks. The Smoke and Mirrors Hour. That's all it is. It's diversions are us. That we have no diversions at my house. I promise you, there are no diversions. So we're doing a lot more heavy digging, and we're going to go into estates and trusts. We're going to go into the mortgage issues, folks, and these others. We're going to, like I say, Michael and I will never have anybody go down a path that we haven't visited, so that we can remove the presumptions, so that we can remove that it's a theory. We don't do theories over at my house. We're just live men having a human experience, and we're moving forward on a different level, and you can too. I know.
I like that.
I love what we've created up to this point, and it just gets better. Like I say, Brother Michael calls me daily, and then he's giving me a whole new epiphany moment, because we cut through all the wheat and the chaff, we cut through the garbage, and we just bring it straight up. We're not guessing about anything. That's the problem. And folks, this is what I'm saying. Everybody's looking for that magic wand, and there is not a magic wand. The magic wand is you, believe it or not. The magic lies in your heart, in your spirit. So, everybody's looking for a shortcut. The shortcuts are over, folks. This is the shortcut. But you're going to have to do a little bit of heavy lifting and carry your own water. But, hey, the upside is we've created a portal where you can actually do that. Like I say, this international package Michael just got done with, no statutes, no codes, no regulations, folks. We're just looking for the damn claim. And it's ironic, I was talking to somebody about claims versus, it was just Johnny. Yeah, Johnny, mentioned the difference between claim and a complaint. Yeah, the complainer is the dead entity. A complaint, and they never have a valid, they never have a valid, okay, I just lost my word.
They never have a valid claim, they only have a complaint.
Right. They never have a valid claim ever. Not, folks, and they're never going to produce one in a million years. That's the beauty. So guess what? You get to get unencumbered, i.e., free from the chains that bind. You get to drop those doggone chains and move forward on a whole different level. So, yeah, I'm sort of bantering a little bit, folks, but, I'm trying to give people clarity. If you don't, what do we get, 30, 40, 50,000 people listening to this call, and I'm amazed that I have 1,300 people only in the front door. And every person on this call, if they haven't visited that site, they should have already visited it already, because you know what? You're robbing yourself of your true you, your heart, your soul, and your spirit, and you're never going to come out the other side with all the other smoke and mirrors garbage. I promise you, you come over to my house, you're going to get your paradigm shift. You know what? I'm not
the plumbing works at your house, Peter. There's no sewer over there. I'm well aware. It's all sunshine.
Yeah. No, we use straddle trenches
you know what?
over here.
People. What? Do you want to say that again?
Yeah, we use straddle trenches. That's what we use in the military. Yeah, we out in the wide open.
Charming.
We don't need a sewer. We back to nature. It's all good. My Marine brothers know exactly what a straddle trench is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
They like to send us out to the desert and go play in the desert for 30 days at a time. So we're really lost. Anyways, yeah. Tarantulas, scorpions, rattlesnakes, all the fun critters. So watch where you sit, watch where you squat. It could be deleterious to your good health.
Geez, that sounds like the world of the nefarious ones as it is, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
It does.
Cockroaches all coming to bite you.
Exactly. Anyways,
but the minute we stop paying attention to them, they kind of disappear, don't they?
Yep.
We're not at that stage yet, but we were. I'm a bit reluctant to mention the topic of vampirism again, but they get their energy from us.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
Well, it's true.
Where I put my energy. Go ahead, John.
I was going to say, if everyone would just stop volunteering and, imagine, everyone went to court and stuff like that, and, the judge come into the room and the whole room just turned their back on them, and would not comply. And what if we started doing this with everything, you know what I mean? Just stop complying with everything, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, if enough of us start doing it, well, there's nothing they'll be able to do about it, because there's more of us than there ever be of them,
Yeah. And I actually posted something that was shared with me from a brother. I'm going to find it in 2 seconds. Give me a second. This is a beautiful deal was sent over to me. This, folks, talk about directed flow. This is a brother of mine, Jerry. He sent this over to me. Let me find it. And, I want to talk about this for a second. Well, I'm going to talk about it on the downhill slide because I really need to cover this. So we are going to go to one last break, folks. And we're going to share a little love with you to give you a shift in your mind. It's really, really simple information. We're going to give you a little more direction of flow. This is a brilliant piece sent to me by a brother just a couple of days ago. I'm going to cover this. But before I do that, folks, for those that aren't aware, we are moving. We'll be here Tuesday and Saturday of next week with Freedom Reigns, but we will have been stepped into. Yes, In the Spirit of Things will remain. It will just be remaining at Blog Talk I am free will. Gee, folks, go figure. I am free will. I like free will. See, because that's where we're supposed to operate from. Free will, act and deed. It's these words. These all have synergy. They all have direction of flow, and this is where we're going to take you. And anyways, it's going to be a beautiful experience, and I hope more people will come over to Privatus and just sort of get their learn on. And folks, you can hang out in the free portals for the rest of your life, and I have no problem with that. You're welcome at my house. Anyways, this came over to me, Michelle. This is a beautiful overview. Folks, this is what goes on in court. We try and stay out there pretty much at all costs because filing garbage in sort of gets you binded up because that's called traversing and creating a controversy. But my brother sent this over, and this is just sort of an overview. I really loved it. It says, Your Honor, he goes, I have a question before I can answer that or make a plea. Folks, when you make a plea, that's traversing. You got drafted for performance. Anyways, this guy basically put this in a format. I'm going to have this posted over at our site as well because it's that excellent and that directed and flow. And basically, this is something if you're asking the judge, do the terms and the words used in law have different meaning than those in the English language? And the judge has to reply, well, yes, they do. That is the only answer he can give. Otherwise, he's a liar, which, well, whatever. They're used to that. Anyways, well, then, Your Honor, this is okay. Let's say a dialogue. Folks, I'm going to breach a little dialogue. Anyways, I do not understand the charges against me. Folks, if you say anything other than I do not understand, because if you do say you do understand, you stand under. They reverse everything. It's about that inverse relationship that Michelle talks about. Anyways,
they've claimed jurisdiction. You've given consent.
Right. Once you say you understand, well, guess what? Gray Bar Motel might be in your future. Anyways, we just basically say I will need each and every word defined for me as to its specific meaning in law. And the judge would probably come back with, oh boy, case dismissed. Probably not, because but maybe he wants you to go to the deeper end of the pool so he can get the memo. Now you may wonder why this would work and why the judge would not just run roughshod right over you. Well, he may, but it would be thrown out later upon appeal due to a failure to follow administrative procedure. What is more likely to happen is that the prosecution will stick and try to intimidate you. Folks, yeah, the Tricks is for Kids hour. Or the judge will try and trap you into something or giving up a right, like asking if you're a citizen or a resident. Matter of fact, I'm going to broach this before I come back to this. I was just talking to a brother the other day, and he says there was actually a judge who stated while everybody was in the court, he goes, and he was chuckling under his voice, folks. This is how they think of you as a sucker. He specifically stated, if you're a resident or a citizen, please go pay the bill at the window. If you're not, you don't belong here. Get the hell out of here. This is what a judge said, folks. As a matter of fact, I have a brother of mine, Bill. He's in Northern Virginia, and he had another judge that sort of paralleled the same thing because he didn't really want to be so much. He wasn't a part of it. Matter of fact, he divested himself of his judgeship because he was seeing where as they get deeper in the trenches or the system, they have to do the bidding for their masters. So he would basically say, if you're are you a he would ask each individual before he would get started, are you a man or are you a corporation? And if you said you were a man, he said, case dismissed, he would send him on because he had a conscience and he had a soul. But if you said you were a corporation, hey, he was well, you're going to be paying the bill. You're going to be paying the hypothecation event. There's a few judges out there that are good folks, but they're few and far between. The most, they have no souls or soulless entities, and they commit it. But I'm just trying to share with you a little overview. It's ironic that a judge would actually even say those words, if you're a resident or a citizen. Folks, those words have deleterious effects, and we teach you how to remove those presumptions as well. So, anyways, I'm going to move forward with this because this is a really beautiful write-up. Anyways, it says, let me get back to it says, each step of the proceeding is another step down the ladder in a descent into hell. Folks, these are ecclesiastical courts.
The sewer.
Yeah. However, not a single step.
Back into the sewer.
Yeah, not a single step can be taken and no jurisdiction gained until you answer the question in the affirmative. That parallels consent, I think. Okay, anyways, just thought, I was thinking outside the box. Anyways, this is the chasm that they don't want you to cross, the bar. You may have walked up to the podium, but until they get this yes, I understand the charges against me, they cannot proceed at all. Now, what is the next step? First of all, what is the definition? Each important word that is used within the law cited that the corporation claims you violated, code violations for government corporate employees, which they got you as a franchisee of the estate. That's why one judge asked if you are a resident or what was the other one?
Citizen.
Right, citizen. Yeah.
Sorry, did
folks,
you say resident or a citizen? Right.
Right, resident or citizen, folks. Look at the words. Yeah, folks. I got an 11-page document on the word person. I got other pages on the word citizen. I can give you total clarity. Anyways, or person. And so, first of all, this guy says the word person I want it defined, and state you want it defined. And every other word that could have more than one meaning, ask for each one defined. Then ask if the person is the corporate person or the person standing in the courtroom. Then ask if the state is the corporate state or the organic republic, lowercase small s, state. Anyways, the United States has 3 distinct and different meanings. Get each one of them, they are applying to you. Anyways, this is dramatically alter their ability to move against you because everything they are doing is based on trickery, deceit, propaganda, lies, and intimidation, which I've been saying since I've been doing these talks. Anyways, once you've gotten everything properly defined, provided they have not pulled out all their hairs yet and kicked and screamed like babies, and they still persist, then ask them these questions. Number 1, does this court have the right to compel me to contract in business? The answer must be no. 2, are these charges against me part of any business transactions with the court? And the answer must be no, but now they are nervous. Because, folks, they are business transactions. It's a hypothecation event. They're going to be helping themselves to the beneficial interest of your estate. Anyways, number 3, if the plea to these charges, if I plead to these charges, am I not, in fact, entering into a contract with this court? And the answer must be no, but now they're either sweating bullets or have fled in fear or dropped all the charges. Number 4, is this court a corporation or a judicial branch of government? Which one is it? Because as far as I understand, it cannot be both, or the Constitution is being violated through the separation of powers doctrine. Very touchy stuff here, but questions can never get you in trouble or held in contempt if you're pleasant and courteous. No warring. Anyways, number 5, from here you can go on to a number of other areas and places if you choose to. That is if they are still standing there and have not taken you and escorted you to the front door of the courthouse and brought you outside and told you never to come back. Anyways, I just handed you folks a loaded gun, and it usually only takes 1 or 2 bullets to kill. Well, it's sort of like my third-party debt termination. It's the first document, I call it the kill shot. That's my head shot. And then I grab 3 more from the chamber just to make sure that the zombie doesn't get back up. Because, folks, that everything operates in 3s in their system. This is why we do the notice of fault, notice of default, and notice of estoppel. Because when they fail to respond, the game is totally done. And the same thing has happened with Brother Michael when he went into court as a living beneficiary, stood in his proper capacity. The judge knew who he was. And even when she dismissed him, she was looking down at her paperwork. She said, basically, Michael Bukowski, you're free to leave.
Michael Bukowski, you're free to go. Yeah.
Right, but she's saying that down to her paper. She's not talking to the man. Then she looks up directly at him, folks, catches direct eye contact, and Michael, you're free to go. Folks, this was proof to us beyond a shadow of a doubt. Anyways, I have this actual overview, and it's pretty much, that was about it. Anyways, they really hate when people have a brain, folks. But like I say, we're going to, Michael and I want to go into other places, even helping people do ticket termination. So that's going to be another heavy lifting. But, folks, it's all just a hypothecation event. It really is just one big scam. Once you understand how to operate and not go to war and settle, i.e., move forward through your education, you'll never become a victim to the system again. But we don't war. So, anyways, I just wanted to share that because that was shared with me a couple of days ago, and I posted it in a lot of people's Skype rooms. It has 100% validity, folks. I know I probably lost you a little bit, but that's all right. Just come on over to private.me and get your learn on, and you'll get the memos on multiple levels. Really, really simple concepts to grasp. Anyways, I thought this was very interesting to get posted. What do you think about all this, John? I think I posted it in your box, did I not?
Yeah, I got it as well, and it is true. Less is more. I'll quote Carl Lentz. He basically mentions that, we can be a citizen if we want. We can be a man if we want. It takes the point of exercising that right. You know what I mean? Like he says, you can choose to exercise your left leg or not choose to exercise it. But at any point, you can go back and forth. And that's the thing with court. If you know who you are, you can choose to go in there as a man and not as a corporate dead flesh entity, basically. And when you do that, it is very simple. There isn't much, you know what I mean? They are trying to get you to traverse back into their jurisdiction of a dead corporate entity. But if you know who you are, and it is quite simple to stay being a man, because you don't need to know legalese. You don't need to know a lot of stuff that they try to get you to contract to when they get you in there with codes and statutes and stuff like this. Codes and statutes apply not to a man.
To a dead entity, a
exactly.
franchisee, a corporate citizen slave. Folks, under the 14th Amendment, I have an excellent document over at the site. When you're in their body politic, you reduce yourself to benefits and privileges, and you're a dead entity. You are operating not as a live flesh and blood man. I know there's a lot of people out there who go, well, I'm the live man, blah, 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 blah. Well, the problem is you haven't removed any of the damn presumptions. So guess what? That makes you a double-minded man because you've never removed any of the presumptions. We teach that too. Gee, go figure. Anyways, folks, I want to explain a little bit. Brother John is actually standing in the breach. He has not traversed. He has not created a controversy. He has not argued. He has not warred. And they don't know whether to crap or wind their wristwatch up in Canada right now. It's a beautiful thing. See, this is what happens when you understand. You don't stand under, but when you overstand what's really going down, and they want you going down because they're not used to a live man standing up. And, folks, we have standing. They have none. But when you give over through the trickery, deceit, and the game playing, they will beat your brakes off. So Brother John just stayed in love and harmony, and that's what we teach, and that's the whole point of the exercise. Folks, get the warring crap out of your mind. You want to sue and all this other crap, wrong mindset, wrong paradigm altogether. And if you want more trauma, pain, I understand the victim syndrome, folks. I understand that you don't want to just lay down and become a victim, but there's other ways to deal with the issues of the day, and you can do it in peace. And believe me, hey, it pulls all the oxygen out of the room. It pulls all the oxygen out of the charge or whatever. And that's the beautiful part about this, is we don't have to live in fear, and we don't have to operate in anger and frustration, because it just takes too much energy out of you. So we're going to teach you how to go in love and harmony and take care of business on a whole different level, and you won't be a hypothecation event anymore.
And it goes against their entire programming of the agenda of infantilization, to get us to fight for our rights, which is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my life. You don't fight for your rights; you have them. Just this whole mindset of just being a child and everything is outside of you somehow, and the blame. I blame you because this went wrong in my life. I'm going to sue you. What about my rights? This, that, me, mine, everything outside of me. Whereas as an adult, I realize everything is inside. I have knowing, and with my freedom, I have responsibility. So it's not about putting everything outside of me. The spiritual equivalent would be, setting up with some guru somewhere, or doing your chanting and stuff, feeling perfectly content and happy in that sewer that everyone is in. It's a diversion. It's a distraction. Anything to get me to stop heading towards the sunshine. Wow, that was like about 5 different topics in one. Was that somehow clear? Because I need someone to explain that to me. I think I lost myself.
I'll have a class on over at Private Estami, all right?
Oh, okay.
On top of all the other classes we're having, folks.
Awesome.
It's getting fun. It's getting exciting over there. I'm really excited on a different level because I really see everything gelling, everything going in the direction of flow is being brought to my door on so many different levels. So, the amazing thing is when you become right-minded, it becomes so patently clear in your mind and your heart what to do and how to do it. So, like I say, freedom with responsibility, but you're going to have the capacity to know how to operate. And this is I see massive shift on the horizon in a good way for my brothers and sisters. If they'll just open their eyes and come over to my house, you are invited. You have my consent to come on over and play. If you're looking for consent, I'm giving it to you here and now. Anyways, I hope my phone lasts for the next 12 minutes because this one's pooping the bed, my white phone. I have my bat phone, but I can't call in on that. So if I leave the bow, folks, I think I have about a 5 minutes of window here before I go to dead man's land on this phone. So, matter of fact, we can probably just clean house and head for the front door a little early tonight. We got about 5 minutes.
Sure.
Brother John.
Sure. Did you want to go ahead?
No, did I want to what?
I was just going to ask if you wanted to sort of clarify the schedule of how we're finishing up at Freedom Reigns until the end of the month, and then we're transitioning now onto I Am Free Will. And well, if you want to go into those details.
Matter of fact, Michelle, you can be my voice. So you have that memo.
Sure. So we're finishing up our, 10 years is a nice word, at Freedom Reigns, and we'll be doing the regular Tuesday night and Saturday night shows until the end of March. Also, in the meantime, we're transitioning onto our own channel, station, which is I Am Free Will, and we'll be doing the In the Spirit of Things show on Monday from 7 to 9 Eastern Time, and then we'll be setting up full-time on I Am Free Will starting April 1st, April Fool's Day.
Yeah, you got to love it. April Fool's Day to make the transition, folks, and it's not a joke. The joke's going to be on them when you come over to my house. It's a beautiful thing. Hey, folks, they've been doing Tricks for Kids Hour with us for our entire lives. It's over. Anyways, Brother John, you'll be joining here. Brother John will be joining me until he gets resolution to where he's at, and we're to keep the light shining on this until they get the memo, I guess.
Well, I appreciate that, Peter. You know, you've been there from the beginning when this all started. You were, in my corner, and you and Michael both, and now Michelle as well. And I send you nothing but love and pure gratitude because if it weren't for you guys, we would have lost it a long time ago. Because the one thing with being at the front of the bus is a lot of people are at the back of the bus, and they're thinking you're crazy and stuff like that. And it's only the ones that are at the level of mentality as you are yourself. That can really understand and guide you and help you and really empathize with what you're going through. So I do appreciate you for that.
Well, but that's the thing, John. They just think you're crazy. We know you're crazy.
Exactly.
Crazy like a fox.
Crazy like a fox.
Because we know that we're crazy too. So
Well, what it is, we're sane in an insane world. So that's making us insane.
Go.
All right.
Very good.
Please, nobody break into that rap song from a decade ago, please.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Insane in the membrane.
Here we go.
I had to go there, sorry. Now everybody's got it in their head. It's all good. Well, I'll have my big cup here in a couple minutes. Hey, folks, I love my big cup. I'm going to have a T-shirt made up with my big cup on it just because I can.
Oh, God.
Maybe I'll sell. Maybe I'll hypothecate T-shirts. No, I'm not even going to go there, folks.
You're
I'm
not
there,
in commerce, Peter.
No.
What are you doing?
I know. Anyways, T-shirts. You got to love it. Hey, folks. Yeah, I don't live there. Well, I'm not going there. I was just playing.
I know.
Yeah, if I wear a T-shirt, if it's white, I'm in trouble.
hey, I know I'd wear a Privatus T-shirt if you had one. I'll tell you.
Privatus. Yeah, Michael, we're so busy actually constructing, alternatives and ways to move forward. We haven't even thought about commercialization, folks, because that's not where we live, anyways.
Yeah.
But that's hey, yeah, maybe somebody else can pick up the ball on Privatus. I don't know. Anyways, folks, it's been a beautiful show as usual, and we do love you, and that's why we're here, and we're going to continue to stay here. And I want everybody to come over to my house. You're invited. You have my consent and my permission. So go over to privatus.me. I know there's icons and links and everything posted all over the place, and they're also posted at I Am Free Will. Matter of fact, we actually highlighted them so you can actually click on a link for a change, so it'll make it a little easier. And I do want to give out big thanks to Deatra for giving me my start, my producer. She's a beautiful soul. She gets it, and we wish her nothing but the best in her future with Freedom Reigns. So I'm going to share the love because that's what I do.
Did we just lose Peter? Oh, no, we didn't.
No, okay. It got quiet. I had a paradigm shift. I had a paradigm shift. That's what happened. Anyways, on that note, I think I'm going to bust loose a little early tonight because of the fact that I know this phone's going to go belly up and I won't be able to say bye-bye. So, folks, with that, show up on Monday at I Am Free Will, Blog Talk I Am Free Will. We'll be there with bells on. And we'll share some more love because we are, like I say, starting in April, my Monday nights will be dedicated to the medical side of the fence on a whole different level, but also modalities that you can use for yourself to get your mind right and get your body right on a whole different level. So on that note, Brother Johnny, I thank you for sharing the love with me and coming on to the show, and Michelle as well, because you are the nucleus. And folks, come join us in our nucleus. We love everybody.
Love you too, Pete.
Thank you, guys. I love you both.
All right. Over and out, folks. We'll catch you on the rebound. Go do what you do when you take another break. Everybody have a great evening. We'll catch you on Monday. Bye-bye.
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 You know, we've been, it's study, morning, noon, night. We're in bed 1, 2 in the morning. We're up, 6:37, and we're learning. We're hard dedicated at it, and we're gonna prevail. They're definitely not gonna see this coming, and they're definitely not gonna enjoy this because, as we know, governments can only put in complaints. And as soon as you put a claim in, everything has to go with your trial first.
Right.
Because you've made a claim as a living man. And, you're not a fictional entity with a complaint,
Right.
So as Carl Lentz would describe it, someone putting in a claim would be the holder of a winning lottery ticket. Someone with a complaint would go around and say, well, listen, all my friends are all winning this lottery, but I don't seem to be winning this lottery, so I'm going to make a complaint that I'm not winning, which makes sense.
Right.
Well, understand? So, yeah, we're definitely...
That's a very good separation of complaint versus claim, folks. That's what we're talking about here, because they know us by our acts and deeds. They know us by our words. And we use all the wrong words because it's legalism. It's sleight of hand. It's the nefarious, underhanded, shake-shifter, bar card-carrying clowns at the circus trying to draft everybody for performance for a hypothecation event. It's always about the money. It's never civil. It's never criminal. It's about the money. Folks, yeah, I sort of covered that over on my site a little bit, 2-hour overview on the bond issue, which I'm sure some people have dug into. But, folks, we're going in a different direction like we always do. We want to go to peace. We want to settle this in an amicable way. We're not about creating war. We're not about causing duress. We're just about showing the love. And we're taking it to new heights. And matter of fact, Brother Michael, I'm going to give a shout-out to him because he's my webmaster over at privatus.me, and he is the master of his domain because he's really done some extremely heavy lifting. Folks, if you haven't seen the new site, the facelift, the direction of flow, the curriculum, it's posted. Go get your game on because this is what we do. We knew we had to do some more heavy lifting to give you some direction of flow, and we've really, really shortened your learning curve. It's an exponential learning curve because now you don't have to go think too hard. Just follow the bouncing ball because this is where I live. It's like training Marines. If I could train them, I figured I could train just about anybody. So anyways, folks, yeah, I can train you too. Anyways, if you have the will, where is your will? You know. Yeah. Speaking of wills, yeah. Now they got me on another banter, folks. Yeah. We're taking this down to another road starting next Thursday. For those that come over to the site, yeah, we're going to talk about how to terminate presumptions. Very, very simple. Very simple administrative issues, process, no warring. Rescinding signatures is a really good idea because until you do such, i.e. remove the presumption, if you're a part of the body politic, if you got a marriage certificate, folks, you made the state a third party to your fruit of your loins, i.e. your children. This is why they can drag you into their system of downs so they can create a hypothecation event because you gave over. You allowed that third-party whore in the middle of your union. And it didn't start until 1926, all that garbage. Then they shifted very quickly into 1933 and basically created a hypothecation event on everybody via the birth certificate bond, and that is a starting point. If you haven't seen what one really looks like, folks, go over to my site. I have a copy of mine. I'll share it with God and the world. It's all good. I have nothing to hide. They would rather you not go see it. It's a beautiful blue-bordered birth certificate bond. It says Midwest Bank Note Company. Go figure. Gee, who would have known that I became a hypothecation event? Well, I know. Anyways, these are the things you get to learn over at my site. We start from the beginning. We're going to give you direction of flow. So, but Michael and I are going to go to a deeper level. Yeah, we're slaying this beast on different levels at the speed of sound, and I know they're really excited. But that's why it's all private, folks, at privatist.me, because I can't do this in the public, what I do. I can banter, but I can't get to the specifics. So if you want specifics, come over to my house and go sit at my table. It's free. But, yeah, you have to come in the front door. You have to actually take an action. So the whole point of that exercise is because you have to take an action. If you don't take an action, you stand fast in duress. You'll stand fast and get whacked because you didn't know that you were supposed to remove presumptions and stuff. Because until you do such, this is why they get away with what they get away with, because they think you're a dead entity. They've got you classified as an infant, an imbecile, whatever other words, and that's why hiring an attorney is not a good idea, folks, because when you do, you become incompetent to handle your own matters forthwith, and then they get to beat your brakes off, and you just created a new hypothecation event by giving over power of attorney. Gee, go figure. All these traversals, all these consents. Yeah, we're going to talk about consent probably more into the show, because it's just a really, really deep topic. But what Brother and I have, Michael, have planned for next Thursday is, yeah, and for our fully paid members, yeah, so they are. You owe them nothing. However, just a simple task of removing the presumption gets you out from underneath because the original creditor always got paid. So anyways, and we got, also I want to give a little quick shout out to Brother Greg from In5D, who always shares the love with us on a weekly basis. He always likes to post us because we don't mind sharing the love. Anyways, we're going to get some direction of flow. I'm going to talk a little bit about banking and stuff tonight, folks. Since that's a high priority, it's sitting in probably most people's minds' forefront. If you haven't been paying attention to what's going on in your world, we're going to give you some clues. Anyways, Brother John, are you here?
I am here, Peter.
And
good to be here too as well.
Sister Michelle, are you? I know I heard you chuckling somewhere. Oh, that's right. You don't chuckle. I'm sorry.
No, I don't giggle. I do chuckle. So yeah, that was me chuckling.
Yeah.
I'm present, sir.
Present and accounted for, sir. Very good.
Sir, yes, sir.
We've got our Admiralty military acumen working, so we want everybody to be seagoing swabbies, get their bearings straight so they don't fall over the side, over the fantail. Anyways, yeah, just keep your hands in close. We'll keep you from falling over the side. Anyways, I wanted to cover some new things, but I always like to start off with Brother Johnny because, folks, we like to keep the light shined on places where they don't want us shining it, so that's exactly where I want to put it. So I'm going to have little Brother Johnny share a little love and share a little updates because, hey, they need to know that we know. And, Brother Johnny, I'll let you take the floor.
They need to know we're not asleep at the wheel here anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, the great thing about hanging with the leaders of freedom is, you know, you get a lot of knowledge. So, as you know, we're getting paperwork together now to file in common law now because we're quickly learning that being the defense in the case is nowhere to be at all because 80% of defendants lose, and we've been trying to file into their case, and we're learning now we need to file our own case. So that's what we're doing right now. We are filing habeas corpus for the children to make them bring forth their claim, bring forth their proof that they have a right to do what they've done, and then we're proceeding forward with a claim through common law. So that's where we're at right now. We're studying quite a bit. We're learning from the masters, and we're definitely willing to implement that and stand in our honor. So that's where we're at right now, Peter.
All right, welcome to In the Spirit of Things, folks. Time for another fun-filled show. It's like Star Trek. We're going to take you to where you've never been or never gone before, like they say. We don't mind flying by the seat of our pants, and we're going to move down different paths. Anyways, I guess I'm probably getting John and Michelle in the queue laughing. Peter's talking about flying by the seat of his pants now. What the hell's going on? The McGilla gorilla has showed up. He gave me some grape, folks. It's just an inside joke. It's all good. We'll clue you in down the road. Anyways, hey, folks, we got really exciting things. A lot of stuff happening. We are in the shift, SHIFT, not the other shift. Anyways, we're knee-deep. Matter of fact, we're knee-deep in the shift. Hey, it's comedy hour. Hey, what the hell? Anyways, a lot of interesting things happening, things moving forward on multiple levels, and just want to give a heads up, folks, I will be moving shortly in the future. Starting in April, all my shows will be over at Blog Talk I Am Free Will. So if you didn't get the memo, go sign up to privatist.me and you'll always get the memos to where the show is. It will still be in the spirit of things. We're just going to be doing a little bit more heavy lifting. Matter of fact, we'll be creating a Monday night show over there for people to cover in extensive capacity the medical side of the house on different levels, as well as how to get your body, your mind right. We talk about the body, but I'm going to dedicate a show just to the body because it's an important vessel to keep you upright and rolling. So I got a brother, Jerry Nowicki. He's going to be coming and joining me. So it just won't be Peter bantering by himself. Anyways, it's going to be extremely informative, extremely educational, extremely easy to change the paradigm for your body. Folks, got one machine, and you got to take care of it. We're going to show you how, and we're going to give you direction of flow, as usual. Anyways, we got Zach at Verdict Productions, who's, folks, if you haven't seen my 12-minute three-step debt termination video, you probably want to go take a look at it because if you're paying on third-party bottom feeders, you get the documents for free. They're red boxed. You can remove presumptions to birth certificate, your marriage certificate. We're going to talk about going and reversing your position on wills. If you have a statutory will, folks, you need to dump it, but you can make another will as a man and come forward live in a different capacity. I'm not going to digress on it here. I'm just going to give you the heads up that this is what we're going to be covering next Thursday. But, folks, like I say, we've all fallen asleep. We didn't know all this trickery and chicanery was going on behind our backs. Sort of like the banking system, folks, the whole hypothecation event, the whole system of downs. And if any of you have been following what's going on this past couple of weeks, Cyprus, they shared the love with them because their whores at the top of the pecking order gave them over to the International Monetary Fund for a hypothecation event to the tune of 6.75% of all their private funds. So isn't that special? That they can go over and willy-nilly suck 6.75% out of a person's private account, but it's not, folks. See, because when you signed the contract, the one you didn't read, you gave over. You abandoned the property. Nobody talks about this. Nobody shares this. but I will. And that's why I haven't had a bank account since 1995. I've divested myself of chicanery land because I'll be damned if I'm going to give over anything to clowns at the circus so they can control my flow. So if you want to get a learn on and find out how to remove presumptions, terminate third-party bottom feeders, we're going to go into the mortgage end of things in the near future. We're going into estates and trust because that's all it is, folks, just estates and trust. I mean, who would have thought that the beginning of your mother claiming to be, she was the informant, gave you over to the state in a state-run hospital, and therein lies where the problem starts. And then they give you a last name, and then the hypothecation games begin. And then because Daddy didn't know that you were given over, because he separated by that piece of paper a double line on that document, which is on mine, showing proof that he didn't even know that you were given over by the informant, i.e. mother, who's used a maiden name. Anyways, these are just little interesting concepts that I've managed to figure out as I went along, and it's very interesting. Anyways, what do you think, Michelle? You think we're taking them down the right path, or what?
I think so. I don't think so. I know so.
There you go.
We're coming back to language again, and my dislike for words like belief and faith. And just before the show started, I read you a quote here from one of my favorite people, Carl Jung. The word belief is a difficult thing for me.